District. Our proceedings align with the guidelines set forth by the Ralph M. Brown Act for open meetings. Tune into our hybrid style board meetings online, either on Zoom or YouTube or in person inside of our boardroom. Public comments may be made while you are logged into Zoom, or if you're in person. YouTube, however, is a listen-only option. Here, if you're unable to do either of these, please visit our written public comments webpage for instructions on how to submit your written comments. At this time, I would like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, Chris Norwood, here. Vice President Kelly Yip Chuan.
Here.
Board Clerk Han Lien.
Here.
Board Member Michael Tsai.
Here.
Board Member Min No.
Here.
Our student board reps will be joining us later for public session. Is there a motion to review and approve the closed session agenda? Are they here?
Chloe and later. Okay.
Move to approve the closed session agenda.
We have a motion to approve the closed session agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Lien.
Yes.
Board Member Michael Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member Min No.
Yes.
The closed session agenda is now approved. Are there any comments from the public before we adjourn to closed session?
There are no public comments at this time, President Norwood.
Thank you. Tighten up a few things. Good evening again, Milpitas. I'm your 2021 Board President, Chris Norwood. Welcome to the meeting of the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education. We appreciate your attendance and participation in our education proceedings, which are currently being conducted pursuant to Executive Orders N-25-20 and N-29-20 issued by the California Governor Gavin Newsom. As a governing body of a school district, our proceedings align with the guidelines set forth by the Ralph M. Brown Act for open meetings. Tune into our hybrid style board meetings online on either Zoom or YouTube or in person inside our boardroom. Public comments can be made while you are logged onto Zoom or if you're in person. YouTube, however, is a listen-only option. If you're unable to do either of these, please visit our written public comments webpage for instructions on how to submit your written comment. For our virtual audience, you will see the instructions for public comment on your screen. Our communication specialist will go over them for our in-person audience. For our in-person audience, please go to the podium when you're called upon. Instructions for both are also listed on each agenda. There are copies available at the back table. One public comment per person is allowed for each item. Our communication specialist will take it from here.
Thank you, President Norwood. As President Norwood said, if you are here in person and you'd like to make a public comment, there are green speaker cards in the back of the room. Just fill those out, hand them to me. I'll pass them along to President Norwood and he'll call on you in the order he receives them. For our online audience, thank you for joining us. If you are joining us via YouTube, that is a listen only. But for our Zoom attendees, what you will do is you're logged on to Zoom. You will click the hand icon to raise your hand to indicate that you have a public comment. You'll wait to be called upon. We will call the names in the order they are received. Your audio, we will enable your audio. We will let you know to take yourself off mute and you'll have 2 minutes to make your public comment. And we just ask that you please be patient. President Norwood will call on every public comment at the appropriate time. Okay, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any subject that does not appear on tonight's agenda. However, provisions of the Brown Act, Government Code 54954.2A and .3 preclude any action. As an unagendized item, no response is required from the board or district staff, and no action can be taken. However, the board may instruct the superintendent to agendize the item at a future board meeting. Please note that the Brown Act, Government Code Section 5494.3 prohibits members of the board in commenting or engaging in discussion during the public comment portion of the agenda, except when seeking clarification on a point made by the speaker, provide a reference to staff members for factual information, or request a staff member to report back to the board on any matter at a subsequent meeting. Lastly, if you require for special accommodations for board meetings, if you require any assistance, please call the superintendent's office at least 2 business days in advance, and we'll see what we could do to help you out. As you know, our meetings are broadcast live on Zoom and YouTube. Closed captioning is available through Zoom. You click the closed captioning icon and live transcription will appear at the bottom of your screen. Lastly, if there are any additional documents that did not appear on the agenda, we will have them here and they're public documents disclosable to any members of the public. Thank you very much. And back to you, President Norwood.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. In closed session, the Board of Trustees unanimously approved the superintendent's recommendation for the position of Coordinator 2 of English Language Learners, Literacy and Intervention Services. In addition, we also have the board meeting started at 5:30, but we also have now our student board reps that will be joining us for the public session. So I would like to do the roll call for the student board reps. Sydney Huang. Sydney with us?
Hello.
Excellent. That's the Milpitas High School student rep. Aries Zhang.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for being here as well. And Mira Bhakta. Aries Zhang is from Cal Hills and Mira Bhakta is from the Milpitas Middle College High School. Thank you for being here. At this time, we're looking to review and approve the open session agenda. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the open session agenda.
We have a motion to approve the open session agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Kelly Schwan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lian.
Yes.
Board Member Michael Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member Mignot.
Yes.
The open session agenda is now approved. And at this time, we will have the flag salute hosted by the Milpitas High School in NJROTC.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Baltico, and next to me is Senior Chief Harkeen, and we represent the NJRTC unit. Please rise and remove your caps and join me with the flag salute. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all.
You all may be seated.
Thank you, Milpitas High School, NJROTC. Thank you, Lieutenant Jackson, for your leadership. Comments from the public. Do we have any comments from the public virtually or here in the boardroom?
All right, let me take a look here. We have no hands raised at this time. I am getting a green card right now and I'll deliver it to you.
There are no public comments at this time. Well, there's one. Thank you, Scott.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to talk about the NJRTC program and why your children should join the program. This program helps your children develop life skills, such as public speaking and time management, which makes transitioning to adult life so much easier than it used to be. The NJRTC program also gives your children the opportunity to complete their community service requirements early than usual. And joining the program will also help their resumes into college. And we also offer scholarship in this program. So I highly encourage parents to convince their children to join the NJRTC program. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments from the public?
Board President, I see there's one message from Diana Alonso in chat that Scott Sherry Miller is trying to speak.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, Clerk Leanne, I got that message. So Sherry Miller, can you please, I think we got the next, we do have a hand raised, President Norwood. We have two hands raised for online public comments. We're going to do them in the order we received. The first one is Jacqueline Romero. Jacqueline, we are going to enable your audio and you will have 2 minutes to speak. Just take yourself off mute and you can go right ahead.
First and foremost, Mr. Fortuner, thank you for fixing the raise hand icon. I really appreciate that. Made a huge difference being able to find that. Second, good evening, school board members and Superintendent Cheryl Jordan. I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge one of the teachers at Rancho Middle School that during the summertime took time out of his schedule, saw something that needed a solution, and created a GoFundMe page for the missing equipment that was stolen. And I think that teacher, again, going above and beyond, not being shy to ask the community for help, and the community stepped up And there were some board members also that joined in the fundraising. And so I just want to acknowledge all of you guys for taking that time to be a community. And I'm a strong believer that it takes a village, and we all came together as a village. So thank you all. Also, tonight I'm representing the Milpitas Athletic Booster Club. And I just want to again, thank you all for the opportunity to serve our community and invite you all to become members. So you'll be receiving an email from me, just like last year, and we hope to see you in our membership. Thank you so much for the time. Have a great night.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Next, with their hand raised, is Governor Jackson. And we are going to enable your audio. You'll have 2 minutes to speak. Please take yourself off mute. Go right ahead.
Hello, my name is Governor Jackson. I have a student that is a senior at Western Ranch High School who recently contracted COVID. And I was wondering about the protocols for protecting the children from COVID at the schools and why there's no testing. When I called the school board and asked them about it, they said that there was no money for it. Then the students, I asked around to some students, they said, well, we only test the football team. So I thought it would be better to bring the question here and try to get some resolution to why there isn't funding or there isn't at least weekly testing for the students at the high school.
Governor Jackson, are you sure you were Milpitas Unified School District? Because we have a Milpitas High School, Calaveras Hills High School, and a Middle College High School.
So you don't do Western Ranch High School in Western Ranch, Stockton, California?
No, we're in Milpitas, California.
So the school is telling me that the school is part of the Milpitas Unified School District.
That's not correct.
Can I ask who from Stockton told you that?
The administration office at the school told me that they were part of the Stockton Unified School District. I pulled you guys up, I pulled up the school online. It directed me to the Milpitas Unified School District as the parent school district for the school, because it doesn't belong to Stockton Unified School District.
So Scott, Governor Jackson.
Yes.
Yes. We will provide you some support in getting you to the right location. The school that you're referring to is not a part of the Milpitas Unified School District, but we will provide you support in terms of locating the right school district and the folks for you to contact.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
So Scott, can you support Mr. Jackson in terms of getting his contact information so that we can get him pointed in the right direction?
Yes, I will do that, President Norwood. I will contact him right here on via Zoom.
Thank you.
And before I do that, Assistant Superintendent Zhang, you have your hand raised. No?
But I see Sherry Miller Lowe had her hand raised and she may be having some issues. So if you could make sure she can speak.
Okay. Our MHS Activities Director, Drell Maneha, has indicated that Weston Ranch is designated as Manteca Unified School District, which is another MUSD, right? So Governor Jackson, you're looking for Manteca Unified. I will message him as well, President Norwood.
I got it, and I will contact Manteca Unified School District. Thank you.
You have a good night.
Thanks for visiting.
And we have another hand raised. It is Sherry Miller Lowe. We are going to enable your audio. please take yourself off of mute and you will have 2 minutes to speak. Go right ahead.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Miller Lowe. I am an elementary school teacher at Senate. I have some concerns regarding, I know at the last board meeting, it was brought up that our virtual program was short teachers. I believe there was a mention of how many teachers they would need, it, that they were going to be reorganizing and pulling teachers from the in-person classrooms. This was on the 8th day of school. By the 14th day of school, the ILT meeting at the school, the teachers asked, did they have any notice as far as what was going to happen? By that time, the principal had no notice. However, by the 16th day of school, September 3rd, we received an email from Jonathan Brunson at 1:39 before a 3-day weekend, letting us know that they were going to be pulling it and reorganizing classrooms. So leading us into a 3-day weekend, stressed out, not knowing what was going to happen, ended up where coming back on Tuesday, none of us knew kind of what was going on. By the end of the week, Friday, I was told at 2:30 that I would be going to a combo classroom and half of my class would be moving to another teacher. This is now the 5th week of school. And Monday, I was told 4 different scenarios that might happen. One scenario of which was one of the teachers that was going to be displaced, who is on disability after a major surgical procedure and is dealing with that, was going to have to change classrooms. I don't know how she's going to do that with an 8 week on disability. And none of these kids are going to be moved until the 6th week of school. So my concern is, if we are the culture of we, how are we taking care of the we? I'm a little offended with the email that was sent by Jonathan Brunson that, here we are in the 6th week and now we're changing students. And after the year that we've had last year, the hell year, how are we taking care of these families and these kids? And that's kind of my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. And we have another public comment. Allison McDonald, you have your hand raised. We are going to enable your audio. Please take yourself off mute and you have 2 minutes. Go right ahead.
Good evening, school board members and community members and staff. Very happy to join you online tonight. I just wanted to mention something. So I live fairly close to the high school. I live close enough that when the band is practicing, I can hear them. And it warms my heart. I have one of my 2 sons was in band all 4 years when he was in high school, graduated in 2011. And it was an amazing program for him to be a part of. He was one of the nerdy kids. Being part of band gave him a community to belong to. And it does my heart good to hear the band practicing, knowing that more kids are benefiting from that program. So thank you to the school district for supporting the arts.
Thank you, Allison. That is all the public comment as of right now. President Norwood.
Thank you. And thank you to all those who presented public comment. The staff, as well as the board, heard each and every one of those comments that was shared. Thank you very much. Item 11, MUSD 2018-2021 strategic goals. Strategic goal number 1, build a culture of we that engages parents, staff, and community and partners in supporting student success. Improve communication systems for better outreach to parents, student, and staff. Strategic goal number 3, develop educational pathways that allow students to apply their passion and learning for their future careers. Strategic goal number 4, focus services and support systems to ensure that all students are engaged in their learning and making social, emotional, and academic gains. Item number 5, identify creative student-focused strategies to accommodate enrollment growth and ensure healthy learning environments. Item 12, superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Norwood. I would like to introduce to the board and community our new coordinator for English learner development and literacy. That is Ms. Yvonne Sugimura, who comes to us from Franklin McKinley School District, where she spent the first 15 years of her education career steeped in English learner support, also elementary through middle school, and is currently the principal of their K-8 middle school and is a lead principal in the district, spearheading the English learner program and interventions for Franklin McKinley. And unique to her is that when her family immigrated to the United States, they first came to Milpitas. So welcome home, Yvonne.
Thank you.
You'd like, yes, please.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Jordan, for that introduction. So good evening, President Norwood, Vice President Yip Chuan, Clerk Lian, Trustee No, Trustee Sai, student representatives on the school board, Superintendent Jordan, and the Milpitas USD Executive Cabinet. My name is Yvonne Sukimura, and I would like to express my gratitude and excitement in joining the MUSD family. As I embark on my role as Coordinator 2 of English Learners, Literacy and Intervention Services, I'm excited to transition from my leadership role as principal of a Title I school with a student population of over 620 and 60 staff members to supporting the needs of our students here in Milpitas. Over the years, my work at Shirakawa School has been focused on academic excellence for all students, building culture and community and collaboration. As I get set to launch into my new leadership role, I'm excited to know that MUSD is built upon the same, if not stronger foundation. The culture of we resonates and is interwoven through the work that is being done here in MUSD. The focus and support systems to ensure that all students are making gains is not only in the area of academics, but is equally important in the area of social, emotional well-being of our students. We want to continue this important work as MUSD leads the way in ensuring that the needs of the whole child, young adult is being supported. The work ahead will be worthwhile and challenging. I look forward to working with the learning and development team as we collaborate to reflect, adjust, and develop best practices to support our students and our staff. Hashtag MUSD. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sugimura, and we look forward to having you join us on October 1st. And if there's anything we can do to support you in the transition, as you know, we're here for you. And thank you, Mr. Sugimura and young Ms. Sugimura, for being here to support Yvonne. We are looking forward to having you all be a part of our family.
And as customary.
And as customary, we have pictures. So if you could come up to join us.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you guys ready? Take a couple ready. Perfect. Thank you so much.
I should have told you could all stay up here because we have a number of recognitions.
Okay.
Our first group of recognitions are our students from Milpitas High School who have been recognized as National Merit Scholars. And this is a strenuous, I won't say exercise, but a strenuous series of assessments that is through the PSAT to the SAT that qualifies the students. And then the finalists across the US are selected based also on their academics as well as their school involvement. And so I am very proud to bring our students forward so that they can be recognized. And I know a number of them are with us virtually, but I would like to also recognize that we have one in person, so we'll be able to take a picture with him.
Okay.
So first, let me okay. So first, those who are on virtual. Ms. Rachel Yen. Oh, I didn't see you hiding over there. All right, come on up so we can have a picture with you. And your mom. Congratulations. Our next person we have in person is Ryan Toe, who I actually met in first grade and periodically have great conversations with his parents when I see them at generally music associated events. But I'm very pleased to have you, Ryan, come up and join us with your family.
Smiles are everything. It's all in the eyes.
Thank you. And for the record, it's Ryan Teo. Thank you for letting me know how to say your name correctly. Mhm. That's our only two. Yep.
Can we get everybody up just one more time together? Both families and both scholars. Thank you.
You have to stand by your own kid.
All right. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Good evening. Take care, man.
Then those who are virtually with us tonight, we have Ms. Chloe Yee and Herva Shah. Arayaman Jane and Brian Din. Congratulations to all of you. And do keep in touch to let us know how you're doing throughout the year. Our next young person that we would like to recognize is Vanessa Hu, and she received the scholarship from the Sunny Hills neighborhood for her community-oriented work that she did with them, as well as her academics. And I believe she is virtually with us, as well as the president of Sunny Hills, Ms. Allison McDonald. So if we could give them a round of applause. And our other in-person person of distinguished honor is Mr. Henry Robinson. And we are recognizing you tonight, Henry, because you have been named a recipient of the key to the City of Milpitas. So we'd like to recognize you and then also bring up the mayor and Councilwoman Chua to extend the honor.
Good evening, Milpitas. It's great to be back home here at Milpitas Unified School District. We are here tonight with the support and through our proud Milpitas School Board President, Chris Norwood, Board Vice President, Kelly Yip Chuan, Board Clerk Han Lian, Board Member Minnow, and Board Member Michael Tai. Thank you for allowing us to be here at your meeting tonight. And I also want to honor and recognize our Superintendent, Cheryl Jordan. I'm joined tonight with a Milpitas City Council member, Evelyn Chua, whose daughter and son-in-law also attended Milpitas schools and graduated. It's good to be home, right, Council Member Chua?
Right. So proud of the MUSD school system.
With all the introductions being made, we are here for Mr. Henry Robinson. Mr. Robinson, thank you for being here as well, as our city looks to do something special, which is to honor you with a key to the City of Milpitas. The key to the city is a medieval tradition and is meant to confer trust and honor. It grows from the medieval walled city whose gates were guarded during the day and locked at night. The key symbolizes the freedom of the recipient to enter and leave the city at will as a trusted friend of city residents. In the modern era, the key to the city is a beloved symbol of civic recognition and gratitude reserved for individuals whose service to the public and the common good rises to the highest level of achievement. Here in the city of Milpitas, we've been around since 1954, and we've had 17 mayors serve the city of Milpitas to this day. Keys to the city have been granted over 67 years to individuals that are larger than life. Tonight, we honor a man who served our community, one community, not just a school district or not just a city government, but one community, a man and a leader who served our city for over 50 years. I want to really make the use of this time at the highest quality. And I want to read an article that was written about Mr. Robinson by our Rhoda Shapiro and the Milpitas Beat. It was 50 years ago when Henry Robinson first became involved with the Milpitas Unified School District. When he started as an intern back at the old Air High, right here, in 1970. Little did he know that over the next several decades, his life and career would evolve in ways that would make an undeniable impact on the community around him. MUSD hired Mr. Robinson full-time in 1971, just after he finished pursuing his master's in social studies education at Stanford University. Just before that, Mr. Robinson had finished up his schooling at Santa Clara University with a bachelor's degree in history and sociology. He worked as a history teacher at Ayer High School for 2 years before moving on to Rancho Middle School, Go Dons, to teach another 2 years of history there. After Rancho, he went to work as a history teacher at Milpitas High. The year was 1975 here in the land of cornfields. He spent over 2 decades at Milpitas High School, where he saw Ayer High School merge into Milpitas High School, and also became department chairman of the Social Studies Department, a position he held for a decade. Mr. Robinson was also asked to be the advisor of the Vietnamese Club, pretty neat, a role he went on to serve in for 8 years at a critical time in our community when we saw a significant influx of immigrants. In the late 80s, Robinson, along with 2 other teachers, put together the very first offering of advanced placement courses at MHS, allowing students to get credit if they passed the exam. Along with his teaching responsibilities, Robinson would also spend some of his time at the high school meeting with senior year students to help them navigate the complex world of colleges, admission, and applications. This is something Mr. Robinson continues to do. 10 years ago, he officially retired from the school district, 10 years and counting. However, after retirement, he started working part-time back here. Nowadays, Mr. Robinson works out of the Milpitas Police Department, serving as a liaison between the PD and the school district. He's an at-risk specialist and is dedicated to serving K-6 students in foster and homeless programs. He also monitors attendance for all MUSD schools. He also works with families in need, namely helping them to find community resources. This, he noted, has proven to be a particularly important since the COVID-19 pandemic started. He finds resources for families like Catholic charities and local churches or organizations that might provide scholarships. He has also been dedicated to supporting people with finding and getting access to shelters, and even connects individuals with social workers to help them find jobs. Now, since COVID hit, Mr. Robinson has been regularly in touch with not only district administration, but other principals and teachers throughout the district, emailing them resources that might be helpful during this time. Now, Mr. Robinson grew up in Selma, Alabama. He was there during the Civil Rights Movement, working alongside people like John Lewis and C.T. Vivian. He even participated in the March from Selma to Montgomery in 1965. One of the things that fulfills Mr. Robinson the most, seeing how well his former students are doing today, and knowing that he had a hand in shaping and educating them along the way. Some of his students include Vice Mayor Carmen Montano, MUSD Board President Christopher Norwood, and Brian Shreve, who is the district's Director of Maintenance Operations and Transportation. So I want to ask everybody here in attendance to join me in honoring Mr. Henry Robinson for over 5 decades of life to the community of Milpitas, the Milpitas Unified School District, and the City of Milpitas. Sorry to put you on the spot, Mr. Robinson. I don't think any of us can go on with the rest of our lives without making sure that we let you know that we recognize you at the highest levels here in Milpitas. And if you could share a few words, I'd like to, with the support of the school board, hand you this key to the city.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to the city of Milpitas and to the school district. And I think over the years, my focus has been on students and families to make sure that students are successful and families have the resources that they need to work with. This is a great community to work in. And I also think it is a great community for people to raise families in. And I look forward on the upcoming year that's already in focus and still providing resources for all families, regardless of what the need might be. Thank you again to the school district and to the school board for this honor. I will say that it came as a surprise because I share this with the other people and team members that I work with within the school district and serving families. The focus in the school district is on students, community, it is on families, making sure that they are able to be successful, short-term as well as long-term. Thank you.
Let's do that right here. Let's do. Come on around.
It only happens once per person.
Hey, Henry, you got a minute?
I think it's also important to note that tonight at this board meeting, while we recognize Mr. Robinson for his many, many years of service, I sat here for just a second and realized that he was my US government teacher. And here I sit in governance. To say that he didn't have a profound impact on my development as a young man, as well as many others, in the effort that he put forth. And the phrase that he commonly uses is student success, family, and community. So it is only fitting that the mayor, we also have the vice mayor in attendance, as well as Councilmember Chua here within the Milpitas Unified School District, attending our board meeting, recognizing Henry in a place that he knows better than any of us. Thank you isn't enough. It isn't enough. So we will continue to honor you, continue to recognize you, even though you don't want the attention, you just want to do your thing. But we appreciate it. And there are so many families across the years and generations that recognize you as one of the reasons why they have opportunity, why they choose to work hard, and to also support others. So again, we thank you, Mayor Tran. We thank you, Councilmember Chua. We thank you, Vice Mayor Carmen Montano, for being online and always staying connected to this community and the Milpitas Unified School District. How do you have a board meeting after that? I mean, that's tough to follow. That's some tough stuff to follow.
Well,
Thank you.
I'd like to share.
Our next,
Go ahead, Michael.
Can I share a few words about Henry and to Henry if we have the time?
Yes.
Okay. Again, Henry, again, congratulations. think this is really just really well deserved. I've been here about 3 years now, and I'll just say that there's that old wisdom that says integrity and character isn't what people do when others are watching, but when other people aren't watching. And I'll just say that a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes in the community, and some of it isn't always good, but what Henry does is always good. And he's always the one working behind the scenes, doing the right thing, even when no one else is watching, because he believes in doing the right thing because it's the right thing. You know, it's not about trying to get attention or get credit. It's just about helping the community really selflessly. And I think Henry is really just a great example of that. So again, congratulations. This was really well deserved.
Thank you. And we also have Vice Mayor Montano, who'd like to say a few words to you as well.
Thank you, Chair Norwood. I just want to say thank you, Henry, for being my high school history teacher. You're awesome. A big shout out to you and many more. And thank you for serving our families and our students. Thank you.
Okay.
I have more. So we're also honoring our Milpitas High School girls volleyball. They have been tremendous student athletes and winning the Spike Fest tournament championship. And they're all busy practicing right now. So Vice President Yip Schwan went to let them know that we were recognizing them, as well as Coach Marissa Canez for their hard work. Scott?
Good afternoon, everyone. This brings back a lot of memories for me because I did play volleyball in high school for 3 years. So when asked if I could present today, I immediately jumped at the chance. And since you guys cannot come to our Tuesday school board meeting, we wanted to come to you to be recognized. Volleyball teaches so many valuable lessons. You work together as a team and you function as one unit. The sense of teamwork and dedication has paid off. So I want to congratulate you on winning the Spike Fest tournament championship. We are so proud of your achievement and it is well deserved. On behalf of the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education, I'd like to present you with this certificate of recognition.
Thank you.
Go Trojans!
Thank you, board. We're so very excited to have this recognition, and I'm very proud of all their girls and their hard work in winning the Green Division Championship. And thank you again. So, yeah. Thank you, board.
Go Trojans! Okay. Now I would like to do my moving forward COVID-19 update for 2021-22. And as our esteemed teacher, Ms. Sherry Miller-Lowe pointed out, it has been a very rough start and things have not always been amicable for everybody involved, and we continue to do the best that we can. And always with room for improvement and learning. I would like to share with the board that we now, of our 947 employees, team members, 82% have submitted vaccination certification that they are fully vaccinated. We have another 2% that has stated that they're fully vaccinated and we're awaiting their certification. And we have about 177 team members who have not indicated that they're fully vaccinated, and so they will continue to do testing weekly. In Santa Clara County, we continue to be a county with one of the highest vaccination rates in the country, which serves us all very well. As you see here, we have, as of September 14th, 87.8% have at least one dose. 82.6% are fully vaccinated. And if we include 16 and older, 84% of our residents in Santa Clara County are vaccinated.
Is that showing on the screen for everyone,
Oh,
for the audience?
thank you. I did not hit screen share. Okay, here we go. There's our data for Santa Clara County as of September 14th, and this data can be found on the Santa Clara County Public Health Department's website. It's very important to note that we have such a high vaccination rate, and I'll explain why in a moment. As we look at the case rate, which is also since September 14th, 2021 for our county, 8.9 out of 100,000 who have been vaccinated have had breakthrough with COVID. Of those who are unvaccinated, the case rate is 50.8 per 100,000, and overall 15.4 per 100,000. And the important piece about vaccination is that not only are we protecting adults, we are also protecting children, and in particular, those children for whom the vaccination is not yet available. Although I was told this morning with our superintendent's county meeting with the public health department that they expect that 5 to 12-year-olds should have the vaccine in the next 4 to 8 weeks. While our testing services has not been as efficient as we would like it to be, it has assisted us in identifying those who have cases of COVID. And as of September 13th, in Milpitas Unified, we've identified 33 elementary students, 7 secondary students, and 2 employees, either by our surveillance testing or through self-reporting. And this data too can be found on our MUSD COVID-19 resource page. This is something that I would like to share with you that I received also during that meeting that I mentioned. And it looks at what is it that we know and what's changed with the Delta variant. And as you can see that the transmission for the Delta variant is higher than the initial COVID because it's 2 times as contagious. And also what we know is that children do continue to develop severe symptoms, but less often than adults. So that's somewhat good news. And the Delta's increased transmissibility says that we have more people who are apt to have COVID with the Delta variant, and also a 1% who may have a breakthrough infection with the vaccination. And as you can see, for those who do have breakthrough infections, even though they've been fully vaccinated, it's 0.005% that they will have to be hospitalized for COVID. And as a matter of fact, some people report that after having COVID and also being fully vaccinated, that their timeline for being ill is much shorter than those for whom they weren't vaccinated, and also much less severe. I've heard everything from feeling like a case of flu to a very bad cold. And again, the bottom line is we need to stay vigilant, and it's very important for us to be vaccinated when we can be, because we are protecting those who aren't, and primarily our children. I'd also like to point out that while we're requiring all of those in MUSD who are unvaccinated to have testing weekly, And here at the dais, our board as well as cabinet has committed to doing testing before every board meeting. And so this morning I did mine and we are all negative. I would also like to take a moment to point out that the service that we're using for testing called Predicin is definitely not adequate and is causing communication issues as well as lapses in getting results from the testing that we're doing at the school sites. And it is also a great burden on our staff, particularly those in the school offices, our secretaries, health clerks, principals, assistant principals. And so we are currently looking at two possibilities for transferring over to a different agency. Our team that has been interviewing the different service providers has narrowed it down to these two, and they are talking with other school districts that are using them. And by Friday, they will give me a recommendation. And then we will make the transition so that in October, we will no longer be using Predicin, but we'll be using the new service.
Superintendent, what are the two services in consideration?
I will share that with you when we've made our final decision. Now I'd like to move on to our MUSD navigators. And this board meeting, we are highlighting our secretaries. And our secretaries have been frontline for always, and especially during COVID. And so, Mr. Forstner, would you please roll our tape?
When I first became an administrator 22 odd years ago, my grandmother reminded me she was a principal secretary, and never to forget, Jonathan, to take care of your secretaries. So Grandma, secretaries and MUSD, you are amazing, and we can't thank you enough for the day-to-day things that you do for our schools. Your nurses, your EMTs, your counselors, your teachers, your firefighters, you are everything to our children, and you make a difference each and every day. And with that, I want to say thank you, and I also am humbled to introduce 5 of the amazing secretaries that we have here in Milpitas Unified School District.
So the 2021-2022 school year has been going really good in my opinion. It's amazing seeing all of the students and staff members again. It was very lonely being here just with the other staff members for last year and the end of the 2019 school year. So having the kids in the office and around campus has been a great asset to the rapport and just the energy on campus. It's been amazing to have everyone back.
The office staff is an integral part of the operations of Thomas Russell.
As part of my role as the principal secretary and interacting with families is answering phones and being that front line first person that students as well as families interact with, as well as sending out like communications on Parent Square, updating our website to make sure all the information is clear and parents are informed as much as possible, and interacting with teachers and making sure they're informed as well. But it's mainly we're the face of the school and making sure that everyone knows exactly what's happening and what's going on.
So Milpitas High School being the largest high school in Santa Clara County with over 3,200 students and over 200 staff members, our office staff, especially our principals, secretaries, and staff secretaries, are crucial for the operations of the school. We're very fortunate as a large high school to have 2 principal secretaries, and we have Sandy and Joyce.
My job entails handling the budget for the whole school, doing purchase requisitions, claim reimbursements, handling the field trips and conferences, ordering supplies and materials for the school.
And then the rest of the office, we have our attendance discipline staff secretaries. They manage the day-to-day dealings with students around attendance and discipline, supporting our assistant principals, office staff that keep the place running, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of them.
Personally, to experience, I myself, I'm a mother, I have a 6-year-old, so definitely getting my son back in that environment, having him go back to school is a super, super exciting moment, not just for him, the children, but the teachers, the staff, us, admin, everyone just pulling together over such, a difficult time of COVID.
So principal secretary is a jack of all trades because we do everything from being a health aide nurse to being a mother, and hugging the kids when they want to hug, or just whatever that may entail.
I would say the favorite part of my job so far is making sure that the littles are well taken care of. I mean, anytime they come in, even as little as asking for a water bottle, asking for a Band-Aid, bringing in some work that the teachers have told them to bring us, just little assignments that they do, but just making sure that they're safe, they're coming to us, and we know that we are of value to them because they see an adult who actually cares for them. So I think that's probably the biggest thing and the best part of my job.
So daily we do the morning announcements, which is right before recess time. Play some music, play everything from 70s to today, and then we say our announcements talking about what's happening on the day, what's going to happen for the rest of the week and into the next week.
Our office staff are integral to the running of the school. Honestly, I think if one of them is out, we should probably just close school for the day because they know all of our families, they know all of our staff, they know all of our kids. They're the ones who usually have the answers to bigger questions.
My favorite part of the job has been dealing with the people, and that's from students to parents to staff. I'm a people person. I like to welcome people. I feel good about this job because I sit here right at the front door, and I enjoy it. It's always been fun for me.
Favorite parts of my job is the interaction with a lot of the sites, whether it's phone calls, emails, Zoom, it's just communicating with them and the communication within different departments here in the district office, seeing the big picture. The district office facilitates professional development for the site secretaries twice a year. Usually right before school starts and then probably about a mid-year. But that's just the professional development. We're answering questions for the secretaries all the time. They're calling, asking us questions, verifying things. It's nice to touch bases with other secretaries because a lot of times we have the same thing in common.
Thank you so much to all of our secretaries, and for them, this has been an extraordinarily difficult year to open with. They had issues with technology, a new system to learn about 3 or 4 days before we launched school, and they spent many, many hours making sure that we were ready to go and that enrollment could take place. And those of you who are like our secretaries who are behind the scenes making sure that everything happens, really appreciate it. And I know that you go through a lot of struggles and we see you, and it's important, you're important to us. And also I would like to thank you, Scott, for the time that you and David go out to assure that we can capture by video what it is that our team members do, because no matter how much we say it or the words that we use, it doesn't provide the impact of what they do as much as the video. So I thank you for that. And I also thank you for assisting us with technical difficulties, particularly with tonight with the closed session where it was very difficult as our screen wasn't working and you had to roll in the Jamboard all the way across the campus so that we could have that. And still we were having issues online, and you were running back and forth to help make sure that we could get closed session kicked off. So thank you so much. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
President Norwood, we do have a hand raised. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Robert Jung, you have your hand raised. We're going to enable your audio and you will have 2 minutes to speak. Please take yourself off mute.
Good evening. Hopefully you can hear me. On behalf of myself and many of the folks who in the community, interface with our secretaries at each of the schools. I want to also chime in and thank all of secretaries. I've known actually many of the ones that are shown in this clip, as well as many others. I want to really thank you guys for making the community feel welcome and help with all the various things that we do. So I want to just say thank you for all that great work. And I do understand the challenges this year, and just hang in there. We'll get through it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John.
And we do have one more hand raised. It is Allison McDonald. We are going to enable your audio and take yourself off mute, and you're ready to go.
Thank you. I echo what Robert John just said, and they are the face of the school. Interacted with many. It was really fun seeing some of my favorite secretaries on the screen tonight. One thing that wasn't mentioned was their support for substitute teachers. Sometimes booking us, always checking us in the mornings, making sure we know where to go and where the bathroom is. Answering so many questions about so many different subjects, even supporting us with problem students sometimes, and showing appreciation on behalf of the rest of the school. Substitute teachers love the secretaries. So I'm really glad to see you being honored tonight. You're the backbone of the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional public comments?
There are no more public comments at this time. That's all you, President Norwood.
Thank you. Item 13, Superintendent's Executive Cabinet Reports.
Thank you. I would like to start with our principal for tonight. We have Mr. Francis Rojas, who we saw in the video, principal of Milpitas High School.
Good evening, Superintendent Jordan, Executive Cabinet, and our honorable school board. It's great to see you again. To kick off this 2021-22 school year, I'm very excited to give you my principal's update report going into this school year. And so now I'd like to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that? Yes, okay, thank you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so let's get to it. I'm now beginning my 5th year as Milpitas High School principal. I'm no longer the newbie that was in front of the podium 4 to 5 years ago, joining MUSD. And we continue to focus our school on equity through engagement. And when we speak about engagement, we don't solely speak about classroom engagement. We also speak about how we engage with each other as stakeholders in different levels, how students engage with each other, teachers engage with students, staff to staff, and with our community. And on campus, we will increase engagement in Rickard through school-wide implementation of Avid Wicker strategies to ensure career and college readiness for all students, thus closing the opportunity achievement gap. And this year, especially since we're transitioning back into in-person learning, we will be focusing on social and emotional well-being for both students and staff. This year is a milestone year for Milpitas High School. It has been 6 years since our last full WASC accreditation review. So that is being scheduled this spring. And I'd like to share this video that's been created by our students and staff members around the process that we are going to go through, mostly this semester, then preparing a report to send over to WASC and then the visit in March. So please enjoy this short video about the WASC accreditation process for Milpitas High School.
WASC, Western Association of Schools and Colleges, works with schools to validate our current practices and programs in support of our students.
While any number of challenges can disrupt desired results, accreditation can empower a collaborative community that is focused on achieving the school's goals.
WASC accreditation focuses on the uniqueness of each school, focusing on areas such as organization, instruction, curriculum, assessment, and culture.
Accreditation not only offers desired recognition and validation for schools, but WASC accreditation offers an opportunity to improve student achievement.
Starting with a self-study, a school can focus on what's working and highlight their strengths and start a dialogue on what growths are needed.
These periodic self-studies create benchmarks that the whole school can use to work on key issues and reflect on current practices.
WASC accreditation visits offer an outside perspective on our self-study.
This process provides for greater dialogue and opportunities to analyze progress on growth areas as aligned to the school-wide action plan.
Through this partnership, WASC works with schools to ensure that every student has a pathway to support their journey, as well as keeps our school honest with our framework to support our students.
So our WASC visit this year to MHS is Sunday through Wednesday, March 20 through 23rd, 2022. And each of you will be receiving an invitation to participate in the district focus group for this visit. From the district perspective, we have our district strategic goals. And the WASC process actually helps validate what we do at MHS to satisfy each of those strategic goals through this process. So I have already met with the WASC Visiting Committee Chair, Mr. Matthew Hart, Principal of Granada High School in Livermore, and have shared with him our goals as a district and school, and we look forward to his visit with his team in March. I'd like to give a special thank you to our staff who created the video that you just watched, teachers Brett Weber, Deanna Karubin, our librarian Joy Kim, Counselor Valerie Lamb, teacher Caitlin Bellotti. And I'd also like to give my appreciation to our Digital Business Academy students, Mika Wright and Jordan Raphael Makareg, for producing the video. I'd like to introduce our WASC site team. We have 4 teachers on our team. Lisa Gable Ferguson, she is the coordinator of our MHS New Teacher Academy, our AVID coordinator and social science lead. Andrea Hutchison, our CTE coordinator and Digital Business Academy teacher lead, as well as a member of our school site council. Lita Meyer, science teacher and our Science Olympiad coordinator, and Kayla Schwartz, our theater arts director and also member of our school site council. I'm joined with my assistant principal, Skylar Drager, and Jonathan Mock to facilitate this process of data gathering and evidence validation for WASC through these next couple of months in our staff meetings and department meetings. As introduced in the video, WASC will come to visit and validate our action plan. And this has been the action plan of Milpitas High School over the last 5 to 6 years. And the first action item is MHS will foster effective teacher and staff collaboration, deliver ongoing consistent professional development as a way to continuously improve curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Please remember that these action items are a combination of school developed goals as well as based on the WASC Visiting Committee recommendations. What we have done over the last 4 years is increase our AVID training and PLC work around effective Wicker strategy implementation in classrooms. We've also invested highly in professional development around advanced placement trainings, PLTW, CABE trainings for EL teachers, health and fitness trainings, collaborated math engagement, CTE, our own district C2C, and special education. Action item 2 is around MHS will expand community outreach and increase communication with all stakeholders to encourage and facilitate involvement in the school. Over the last 4 years, we have increased engagement to the point where the perception of our school is highly positive, and we have high involvement in our PTSA, more engagement in school site council, as well as with our boosters. We have implemented Aries Gradebook for all teachers, Parent Square, Google Classroom, GoToConnect, Gmail communications. We have parent meetings from EL, special ed, grade level parent meetings with counselors. We continue to work with our Latino community liaison and have expanded our SLS social worker this year to also include interns who will support the needs of our students and families. We have our athletic and music boosters, as well as school side council and PTSA, and we've increased the amount of on-campus and virtual events many of you have attended over the last 4 years. Action item number 3 is MHS will continue to expand and student and staff access to technology to improve the use of technology as an instructional tool and increase digital literacy. Because of the pandemic, we are now a one-to-one Chromebook school, everyone, every day. So students are expected to bring their Chromebooks every day, and teachers are expected to use Google Classroom to ensure that students understand what they are learning that week, as well as parents have access to those assignments. We've increased a variety of apps and platforms that we subscribe to. And then our new librarian, Joy Kim, is optimizing our digital databases of subscriptions to match those with the county and at the college level. Action item number 4, we have done a lot of work in over the last couple of years, and this is around counseling and career college readiness to prepare students for better post-secondary success. During my tenure as principal, we have increased guidance counselors from 4 to 8 counselors, meaning our students have more access to college and career guidance counselors, academic counselors, and college career success. We now have a counselor that takes care of our special programs, 504s, English learners, and our special education caseload. We've reopened our college and career center with a dedicated space and have a coordinator in there that focuses on college visits, community service, and workforce development. We have invested in Naviance, giving students and parents access at home to explore college and career opportunities. Over the last 4 years, we have strengthened and solidified our partnership with San Jose City College. Yesterday, Superintendent Jordan and I attended their centennial celebration, 100-year anniversary, and we were recognized there as a partner in higher education in Silicon Valley. We have that Milpitas extension, and we now have clear dual enrollment pathways and our new middle college high school on that campus. We've increased we focused on Avid school-wide and our elective programs. And then our CT Academy programs have grown to include internships and industry visits. And finally, action item number 5 is systematically addressing scheduling and the support of students of all backgrounds to increase equity in educational opportunities and access to core curriculum. 99% of our courses at this point are A through G eligible, meaning courses that students take at Milpitas High School are transferable for admissions processes to the UC and CSU system. We fully have open enrollment to honors and AP classes. We have shifted from EOS, Equal Opportunity Schools, to our own AOS, Achievable Opportunity Students, to invite students that are high performing but have not challenged themselves with advanced or honors courses. We meet with them one-on-one to invite them to increase the rigor of their 4-year plan and class schedule. This year, we are piloting 2 classes in ethnic studies in addition to our decades-long existing Facing History and Ourselves class. We've increased the amount of co-taught push-in classes for special education students that increases inclusion for students in special education in general ed population. We are also working for our special ed specialized academic instruction classes, alignment of the English language arts and math curriculum with A through G general ed curriculum. And we've also gone through some English learner restructuring, especially with the higher enrollment of student refugees with beginning and emerging language needs.
Thank you very much, Principal Rojas.
Okay, I'm over time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I will send the, I'll go ahead and share this presentation with the superintendent. They can share with the board, and I'll go ahead and stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll look forward to hearing more in the spring as we get closer to the WASC visit.
Awesome, thank you.
And we'll schedule it as a regular report. Thank you. And now I'd like to have Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, Wendy Zong.
Thank you, Superintendent Jordan and the board, and good evening, everyone. I have 3 reports for tonight. The first is from our facility department. I'm very happy to share that this morning, we successfully sold our Measure AA bond of $150 million. And we were able to price our bond at a historic low borrowing rate at 2.04%, which means this will create savings for our taxpayers. And we will provide a detailed report to the board in October. My second report is from our payroll department. This past week was National Payroll Week. You know, 84% of our district's budget is on people. And it is processed through our payroll department, their benefits, their salaries. And so tonight, I would like to give a big shout out to our 3 amazing payroll specialists, Sherry Ames, Wing Dahl, and Marilyn Williams, for all their hard work. Lastly, is from our accounting department, and we have officially closed the books for the year 2020 and 21. Tonight, I will share more detailed financial information with the board. That concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you. And our co-executive directors, Preeti Johari and Mary Jude Dopinghouse of Learning and Development.
Thank you. Good evening. Mary Jude and I are excited to share our joint learning and development update. Mary Jude and I started the school year with a listening campaign. We've made short visits out to every single school site that is being followed up by a fuller in-depth visit. So far, we have completed 13 in-depth visits. In the in-depth visits that we start with a sit down with our principals and assistant principals. The focus of our visit is really about relationship building and developing a nuanced understanding of where each school site is with culturally responsive pedagogy. Culturally responsive pedagogy is not just one thing or even a series of practices. It is the interplay between building awareness and knowledge, developing learning partnerships, and leveraging culture as a scaffold to promote deeper learning. Our goal with these visits has been to model and develop our own learning partnership with principals. We start by asking them about themselves as learners and leaders, and then dive into their big picture goals for their site and experience with culturally responsive pedagogy. For example, as Francis shared, equity through engagement is one of his big goals, and this was our opportunity to dive into it with him and really understand what does that mean at the classroom level. After we sit down, we do classroom visits together to connect those dots between theory and practice. Where are we? What foundations are in place? Where do we want to be? Mary Jude and I are using these conversations and classroom observations to guide the development of our monthly professional development for school leaders. Mary Jude is now going to share some specific highlights from the sites that will add color to the social emotional learning foundation that we see in place across the school sites.
Thank you, Preeti. As she shared, one of the key components of culturally responsive teaching pedagogy is developing and building those learning partnerships. And as we've walked around all of the school sites that we've been through so far, we can really see that this is an area of strength for our district right now. More specifically, we are seeing our site staff embedding social, emotional, and behavioral learning their regular day. And this is a priority for our district as part of our culturally responsive teaching practices. And so we're not only just seeing it at the sites, but we're also measuring it. We have a survey that's gone out here recently and will be completed by the end of this week, which is focused on students' sense of belonging. When we think about looking at some of the things that we saw this year, we've seen it across all grade spans. It doesn't matter whether you're in preschool or all the way up to adult ed. For example, at our preschool level, our littlest learners are learning how to put words to these feelings that they are experiencing, and they're learning being taught strategies, given fidgets, tools, ways to calm their bodies and to be responsive in their classrooms and to be available for learning. At the elementary level, we were over at Weller and we saw kindergartners who were actually doing a little scavenger hunt. And the two of us got to be a part of that scavenger hunt as kids were learning about their peers and their new friends that they had just met. In addition to this morning, when I was over at Randall, Claudia and I were going on walking about, and we were seeing Second Step is one of the curriculum that we use along with Mind Up. And in the classroom that uses Second Step, it wasn't just a one and done in the morning. You could see on the walls that children's mental health mattered. And I'm not great at Spanish, but I did know that when I looked at some of the things that were on, there was a mental health check, and it said you could choose on this on the wall with a post-it note with your name privately behind stuck on, "Estoy bien," or "Tengo problemas," I need help. So it was embedded within the day. At the middle school level, we are seeing staff making connections with their students in smaller settings. At Russell, they have smaller classrooms for homeroom time so that they have adult student connections that are closer. Even Principal Englund has his own homeroom. At middle school, at MHS, Francis mentioned some things, but we were there yesterday in the Facing History class. We saw the teacher doing the morning check-in with her students individually. "Good morning, Cheryl. How was your weekend? What did you do?" And she didn't let kids off the hook. She made them respond so she can make a connection within the classroom. And then I'm going to take us all the way up to adult ed, which was last week, I believe. We were there. And so even our adult learners that are coming from our community, English Language 2 class, where they were practicing using English, and the task was for them to get to know their partner and their dyad. So they were learning about culture and things from the other person's experiences and their background while practicing their English. So I see this as an all-around effort across the district. It's something that we're working on. We're seeing it happening across the sites, and we'll continue to embed this work, monitor this work, and push this work forward. This concludes our joint learning and development report this evening.
Thank you. And Human Relations Assistant Superintendent Brunson.
Good evening, Superintendent Jordan, trustees, and community of Milpitas. Three short ones. We will be presenting at the next regularly scheduled board meeting our sunshine articles as presented by Milpitas Teachers Association, as well as those from the district. We also are almost completely staffed at all of our schools at this time. We only have about 3 special education positions to fill. Those are the toughest ones across the state of California. We made great gains this year in recruitment and supporting even our paras and BITs becoming teachers in our district, and we're most proud of that. Our virtual pathways program is completely staffed. If it was aligned to our other 10 elementary schools, it would be our 8th largest school in the district. And then last but not least, it was fun to go to our first football game in a long time, and to see our community out there, our student body, our student band, the snack bar open, and just seeing people being together as one as a community it was just a lot of joy and fun to see. The result wasn't what we want, but in Milpitas, it's not how we start, it's how we finish. And so we'll get there with all of our teams. So that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Cabinet, for your reports, your detail, and your passion behind each of the things that you do. It's clearly resonating in terms of, and hopefully that the parents, your teammates across the district, with social emotional support that they need, and the understanding that we continue to work together as a community is continuing to come through. I hope, and I'm very hopeful that you heard everything that was said earlier today about how we communicate, how we're being mindful of all the different things that the staff across the district is going through. Superintendent Jordan, thank you for recognizing the secretaries and all the things, and the administrative staff and all the things that they've been going through, because it's a lot. It's a tremendous amount. COVID is not going anywhere. We know that, and we need to continue to move in a direction as far as that's mindful about the health and well-being of the staff, as well as Mr. Robinson continued to say, students and families. And the only way that we can do it is that you're able to model that with the people that you work with on a daily basis, so they have the willingness and the commitment to model that with the students and the parents that they serve. Board group agreements. Board group agreements are provided for the board's ready reference as a reminder of our conduct as elected officials. Remind me when we get to announcements about putting some things on the board. I want to be able to go over the board group agreements, and I want to go over some things as far as how we communicate with each other and social media and a couple of other things at the same time. Thank you. Due to the time and the extra celebrations that we had, I'm going to yield the time on reviewing the board group agreements, and I'm going to go straight to board communication requests. This part of the agenda provides school board members the opportunity to report on their activities as elected representatives. School board members may request the placement of items on future board agendas, relay information from the community, and the request information from staff. The student board representatives also report on school and student activities. So we are going to start with our student school board representatives, starting with Cal Hills High School.
Aries? or-
Aries Young, are you there?
She is logged in.
She's on mute. Okay, we'll circle back to Aries. Let's go to Mira Bakhta, the Middle College High School student rep.
Hi, school board and various community members that are present here today. At MMCHS, we have made good progress on making our students feel welcomed and safe, especially during these times. I want to update you on various things we have done to make this possible. At this campus, we have started the club chartering process that can help students share interests with others on campus. We have also had our back to school night with 100% participation that updated parents on what we students have been doing at school. We have had different guest speakers like Ms. Nicole Stewart and correctional officers who educated us about the social work and psychiatrist field. This has helped many students narrow down what they want to do in the social work and psychiatry field. I would like to thank Mr. Norwood for inquiring about our school and learning about who we are as a school. For the rest of the board, I thought it'd be helpful to share our visions as a school is to provide opportunities for students to work as a community of collaborative problem solvers while engaging in a challenging and stimulating curriculum to prepare them to be agents of change in the broader community. Our goal is to offer a supportive environment and small classes that combine an honors high school curriculum and college coursework aligned to a student-selected career pathway. These pathways can include education and social work, health science, and business administration. Though we operate in Milpitas, our principal and others thought it'd be beneficial to connect with our school back to the college who is helping us run this middle college. This is why on September 24th, our middle college and dual enrollment students will be traveling to the main campus to learn about what a college campus feels like and to learn about what clubs and organizations they can be a part of. If you would like to inquire further about the middle college high school, do not hesitate to reach out to me and Ms. Scott about various visitation days or just general inquiries. As always, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Sydney Huang.
Hi, everyone. This is Sydney Huang, the school board representative from Milpitas High School. With the seasons changing, everything is getting back into the rhythm of school. Fortunately, Milpitas as a community is doing really well handling COVID with the system of testing kits and such, so we haven't needed to revert back to online schooling. Additionally, with the shift in the school system, since it's projected to be a little bit harder to get participants for the school spirit events, but it's going well with the many purchases of ASB cards, going to football games, dressing up for spirit weeks, and so much more. Additionally, we had back to school night not too long ago, and it was a great system of getting the students and the parents to classrooms virtually. And right now, the classes are preparing for homecoming later in October, as well as the homecoming football game to raise the spirit and the inclusivity of the students. And we are working on communication to better Milpitas High community. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Sydney, could you pronounce your last name for me one more time, please? Hong. Thank you. I'll get that. And Student Board Rep Aries, are you back?
Hi, yes, sorry, I was getting ready.
No problem.
Hi, I think I don't really know how to start us off, but hi. Our updates are student council elections. Candidates are writing letters and making videos promoting themselves. We feel like this is a good way to experience how to vote and whatnot with students and teachers. And this will give us the time to try to portray ourselves in the best way possible, we feel. Students will vote in a few weeks and the winners will be announced. And countless students have told me that they're excited to compete against each other in a well-respected campaign. For COVID safety reasons, COVID testings, and vaccinated and non-vaccinated student staff, teachers are taking COVID testings every week. COVID distancing is still happening. Students and teachers have been keeping a great distance and still have been able to teach and listen. And we have also been able to learn. For yearbook class, the yearbook community has been working to create a positive and welcoming space. Come check out our halls. There are positive, encouraging words from our students themselves and teachers as well. They also have been taking photos of their first weeks and participated in creating the recordings for the National Heritage Month. We also have done progress checkups. They were completed last week to see how students are doing halfway through the quarter and shared their grades with advisors and you. Back to school night. We are having a back to school night on September. We are having a back to school night Thursday, September 23rd at 5:30. Teachers will host their own Zoom meetings to meet their students' parents and guardians. We know that not a lot of families can come in person, so we decided to do it on Zoom just so everybody feels safe. Also, how are people doing now that they've been back for over a month? People are excited to be back, but some of them are starting to get worn out. There have been students telling me that they can't handle the stress and they need to take walks outside again, and they need to start doing breathings. And I just feel like, sorry, I'm really nervous. I just feel like they need more space, and teachers are exactly giving us that by letting us go outside to take a break. They also give us time to stay present and talk to our peers. The teachers here are open. Okay, I already talked about that. Teachers are getting involved with their students, checking on us, treating us as young adults, and getting to know our lives. And that's just something that our teachers are doing. We also have activities talking about us and our personal lives, just so we feel really connected to our teachers. And our teachers say that that's something that they love doing with us. And I feel like teachers at Milpitas High could do that as well, if not already. I've gotten countless students from Milpitas High saying that maybe if the teachers had done that or do that more, that they're willing to come back. Let's see. Students have said that, and then these are quotes that students have said about Cal Hills. Cal Hills is the best thing that's happened to me. Cal Hills saved my life, and Cal Hills really supports me. That's all I have right now. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And you don't have to be nervous. You've got plenty more board meetings to get used to this. So you took your time and we understood what you were saying. So, and thank you for that very detailed report of Cal Hills, probably one of the most detailed reports we've ever had about Cal Hills. So congratulations on that. This time we'll transition to the board members, starting with board member No.
Thank you. Good evening, community. And Aries, Sydney, and Mira, thank you so much for your student board report. it's really evident the enthusiasm that each of you bring and the activities that are happening at each of your school sites. So thank you and continue to bring that to each of our board meetings.
Is your mic on, man?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
So
thank you.
can you folks hear me? Okay. I'll make it quick. I attended a couple of virtual back to school nights at Rose and Russell. I attended the 9/11 Remembrance this past weekend, and also attended the first football game with my family, and got to see the football team, the cheer team, and the marching band. So that was just great activity at the school. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Board Member Sai.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I do want to welcome the student board members. I did various activities, but I do just want to focus on one thing. Certainly we commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and I've just been following the sort of events unfolding in Afghanistan. And I've been speaking with some of the folks in our armed forces who have been working and serving over there. And my understanding is we're going to see a lot of Afghan refugees coming from this situation. So I've just been looking at what maybe we can do to support and welcome people who need a safe place. What maybe this means, like some adult education or like English learning programs or support services. I did put in a draft resolution about a week ago, so we're gonna work on that, and that should come forward soon.
Or Clerk Hamian.
Yes, good evening, community members and student reps, student board reps. My activities from the past meeting, I met with Travis Kirk to do the walkthrough at Spangler for the portable classrooms and attended some of the back to school nights. Besides those, I've been very busy apartment hunting to move my daughter to college. So it's been exhausting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Good evening, everyone. Here's my report. I attended a couple of the back to school night at Milpitas High and Russell. Attended the virtual chamber board meeting. President Norwood and I presented at the Silicon Valley Chinese School with a certificate of appreciation for the launch of the Mandarin Learning Center for Adults and Children. Volunteered for Picture Day at Burnett. Presented the certificate to the Milpitas girls volleyball for winning the Spike Fest tournament as seen earlier. Attended the 9/11 event at City Hall with President Norwood, Trustee No, and Superintendent to honor and remember the fallen first responders and those who have lost their lives 20 years ago. The SBA meeting, MUSD team hall meeting, and I did my rapid COVID test yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Yip Chuan.
I did my test too.
Thank you for Clerk Hamian. Silicon Valley Career Technical Education meeting of the board, Silicon Valley Education Foundation STEM Ecosystem Advisory Board meeting, Milpitas High School back to school night, Better Block, Main Street Revitalization Committee for the City of Milpitas, along with Board Member No, Board Vice President Yip Chuan, Superintendent Jordan, City of Milpitas 9/11 commemoration event this past Saturday. And I'll yield rest of the time. This is also a time we have an opportunity to add things to the agenda. Superintendent Jordan, I would like to add and get an understanding of the MUSD Early Assistance Program. I would also like to get a cost proposal to update each of the school marquees that haven't been digitized. I'm interested in the Milpitas Chamber of Commerce as a Milpitas Alliance partner member. And then also recognizing that, those will happen at the end. So those are the items that I'd like to be added to the agenda. And I do understand that we have a board retreat coming up. During the board retreat, I would like us to be able the opportunity to have a review with legal counsel of the usage of social media as board members.
I'm sorry, Chris. What's prompting this board retreat? You're calling a board retreat?
What is your question?
Are you the one calling for a board retreat? And what's prompting this?
On an annual basis, we continually work on improvement as a board team. And each year, at minimum one time, I know that we get together for board retreats. So this is time for us to have a board retreat. There are a number of items. Is there something that you would like to add to the agenda for the board retreat?
If I do, I might make a statement about it, but I just want to say for the record that you seem to be calling these on a fairly ad hoc basis.
So noted.
Thank you, Board President.
Oh,
Norwood,
yes.
for,
Well,
reminding us
on
about the
that
board
topic.
retreat.
Hold on a sec, Board Member No?
Yeah, thank you, Board President Norwood, for reminding us as far as preparation for the annual board retreat, because we want to make it meaningful. So thank you for bringing up topics that way.
You're welcome.
I'd also like to remind the board, we've all graduated and attended the Masters in Governance from California School Boards Association, where they talk about the importance of board superintendent retreats to strengthen the governance team and to look towards the vision, especially around policy and the direction of the district.
Thank you. Item 16, reports. 16A, Superintendent's Office. Item 1, Milpitas High School Student Leadership Presentation, Objectives and Key Results, OKRs.
Yes, I was looking at some of the work that our teachers and team members and students, our student leaders in particular, have planned for this school year. And the OKRs that the student activities group have delineated caught my eye because it stands out as one, a strategic plan for what is going to happen amongst the students for the students this year. And two, it's a great model for us as leaders of the school district and our schools and our departments of how we can carry forward with our goals that help us to get to the 5 strategic goals. So Mr. Maneja and student leaders, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Jordan, Executive Board, and all present in this meeting. The OKR, I learned about the OKR system through my work as part of the LE program at the Krause Center Innovation. And OKR stands for Objectives and Key Results. It's a strategy implemented by big tech companies, including Google, Intel, Remind, as a systematic way of building the team together. And in partnership with the strategic goals for MUSD, plus the direction of the students, it was important for me to give students a framework to take their vision and their ideas to turn MHS into a school that they have always dreamed of, that they feel is their ideal school. And so what you're about to hear are our OKRs for the year, and it is in alignment with the MUSD strategic goals of allowing students to apply their passion, to be student focused, and to make gains not only academic but also socially and emotionally. And so with that, I'd like to introduce the ASB President, Kush Brombat, and the ASB Vice President, Vicky Lee.
All right, thank you everyone for allowing us to present our leadership OKRs. As Mr. Neha mentioned earlier, my name is Kush Brombat and I'm the ASB President.
Hello, I'm Vicky Lee. I'm the ASB Vice President.
All right, and basically today we'll just be going over all of our objectives and our key results as well. So I'm going to share my screen real quick with a little flyer type of thing that we made to visualize it. All right, starting with the first objective, Vicky, you can go.
Okay, so this is actually our revised OKRs. Our original ones were focused too specific on one of our many committees, so we decided to change them so that it's applicable to all of leadership. So our first objective is reconnect, de-isolate, and unify our campus through inclusive activities. Leadership organizes a variety of events, including ones that focus on socio-emotional wellness and recognizing diversity. And some major events that we would like to highlight focus on this objective are Welcome Back Week and Spirit Week, where we started off the year strong by creating a sense of unity and connectedness. And we also had Club Rush recently, which gives students opportunities to join one of our 70+ clubs.
All right, cool. So for our second objective, we have, so we would like to have effective and purposeful communication with the school. So as I mentioned earlier, we have like a lot of, a large variety of events that we do, and we want students to take the most out, to take the most out of the events that they can, and like take advantage of them as much as we can. In order for that to happen, we need to make sure that everyone is aware of the events, and if we also make everyone aware of the events, it creates a sense of inclusivity within our campus. No one feels left out, and everyone feels, that they're important in the campus, that they deserve to know everything that is going on. So within like effective and purposeful communication, we have like a variety of systems. So currently we're working with our Instagram mainly, and with our Instagram we have recaps of every single event on there. We have advertisements, but more importantly, other than just advertisements, we also feature a lot of students within our Instagram. So like any groups of students that we have on campus, any unique groups, any clogs, any individual students with outstanding accomplishments, or anything that just aligns with our leadership group, we always make sure to feature that on our MHS Trojans Instagram, just to make sure that everyone feels included, and everyone is featured, and everyone is recognized when it's needed. And we also have a lot of other platforms, like such as emails and our newsletter. And we also recently have been working on our video announcements and intercom announcements during our school, just to raise awareness of all the events that we have throughout the week. All right, objective 3.
I think that's you, Kush, but I'll go anyway. So our last, one of our objectives is specifically for leadership. So we want to improve leadership culture and shape the communication, because in order to better our school, we need to make sure that our organization runs well and improve the people in our projects first before we can help our school.
And for our last objective, it's amplifying student presence and voices. So as a part of our big theme of inclusivity and student-driven events and all that, amplifying student presence and voices is really important, because we want to make sure that in all the events that we do, we are catering to the students. So a lot of times we need to remember to take a step back and just figure out, and just like remind ourselves that everything that we're doing is for the students themselves. We're not doing it for like any leadership personal gain. So we want to make sure whatever we're doing is catered towards the interest of the campus. So we want to make sure like we get feedback from the campus on any events, or just make sure that we have our ears open for any input that the students have for our organization, and cater our events and tune our events in that regard. So this is basically a quick summary and recap of our 4 objectives, and we've done a lot of things so far to work towards them and make sure we're meeting them. But moving forward, we also are going to be doing a lot of things. We have a lot of things planned in the future. So actually next month we have our homecoming coming up, and that will raise a huge sense of spirit across our entire campus. And within our leadership team, we also have individual projects for every single student. So we have about like 80 or so students in our organization, and we want to make sure each one of them gets an opportunity to by following our objectives, we want to make sure that they get at least an opportunity to do 1 event per year. So we're going to make sure that each of their events highlight at least one of the key objectives that we have on the screen. And that will definitely help us push more towards these objectives and make sure all of our work is focused towards these 4 goals, and we can cater towards the students' interests as well. So yeah, those are our objectives.
And just to wrap up, just as MUSD has established a culture, we since taking on this role as activities director, the students and I have our own culture based on the mantra to embraced as individuals, together as Trojans. And so this is just example work, and I give credit to MUSD for helping us be focused on what truly matters when we are establishing our role for the campus. And that concludes our report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Maneha, Kush, and Vicky. Very much appreciated. Thank you for your leadership on that campus and using the model of OKRs to improve the campus culture and help it to grow for years to come.
Thank you, and we'll see you next quarter to hear about the progress.
Item B, Business Services, Developer Fee Annual Public Report for 2021, Assistant Superintendent Business Services.
Okay, hello again. Let me share my screen then. Each year after we close the book, and we will disclose the developer fee received during the year. So this is not regular item that we do every year. After we close out the book for the year of 2020 and 21, and here is our developer fee report summary. We use Fund 250 to track the activities in our developer fee fund. We started with a beginning balance carried from previous years at 5.3 million. And throughout the year, we received about 57,000 interest, and we collected 760,000 developer fees. About 85% of this 760,000 is from two major development. One is from the Robinson Home, and the other one is called Bridge Point. The total is about 690,000. For total revenue of the year is 817,000. And then we have our expenditures are very simple, and we charge 0.25% of staff's time to administration the fund. So that cost, salary and benefit is about 33,000. And we have some minor project at Meadows this past year that is beyond our bond fund scope. So for total expenditure of the fund is $70,416. That leaves the ending fund balance of the fund at $6,080,000. So that concludes our report tonight. We just ask the board to accept the report then.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Wendy Zhang from Business Services. Item 17, action item, Superintendent's Office, adopt resolution 2022.7, recognizing September 15th through October 15th as Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you, President Norwood. The next two items are resolutions, and I would like to ask our board support and communication specialist, Scott Forstner, to introduce them, as he is key in having them completed and produced by our staff and students.
Thank you, Superintendent Jordan. Yeah, the first one, resolution 2022.7, recognizing September 15th through October 15th as Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month. It was led by Raquel Mendoza's audiovisual yearbook class, and they actually expanded it to other members of the student body over there at Cal Hills, and I thought did a tremendous job in producing this, and we're going to play it right now.
Whereas in 1968, President Lyndon Johnson started the observation of Latinx Hispanic Heritage Week. In 1988, President Ronald Reagan expanded the week to a month, enacting it onto law on August 17, 1988. And whereas the definition of Latinx, used for a person of Latin American origin or descent, a general neutral term sometimes used in lieu of Latino or Latina, referencing Latin Americans' cultural and their racial identity. And whereas Milpitas originated from the word Milpia, derived from the Nahuatl words Mili, defined as agricultural field, and Pan, defined as on. And whereas the city of Milpitas history dates back to the Spanish expeditions of the late 18th century, and are honored today with the preservation of the Jose Maria Alviso
Adobe and Jose Higuera Adobe.
Whereas Milpitas' own city council members, former Vice Mayor Bob Nuez, Vice Mayor Carmen Montano, and Council Member Karina Dominguez, as well as former Police Chief Armando Carpus and current Acting Chief Jared Hernandez, are making Latinx voices heard and making a change in the world. And as the experiences of the Latinx community is an important aspect of the United States and Milpitas' rich and diverse culture. And
whereas Latinx Heritage Month offers the opportunity to learn of the profound impacts of Hispanics throughout history, including civil rights activist Cesar Chavez, surgeon Marsario Garcia, engineer and astronaut Ellen Ochoa, film director Alfonso Cuarón, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and Surgeon General Antonio Novello, and amongst those who lobbied Latinx Heritage Month as a national celebration. And whereas Demi Lovato, Jennifer Lopez, Jorge Ramos, Eva Longoria, with their Hispanic roots, have made an impact in the Latinx community. And whereas Roberto Clemente was the first Latinx in professional baseball to reach 3,000 hits, even winning MVP in games in 1971, who acted as a politically conscious representative of the Latinx community when professional sports contained few Hispanics.
Where Sophia Cruz once said, "I have the right to protection. I have the right to live with my parents. I have the right to live without fear. I have the right to be happy in front of 5,000 people." In 2016, when she was only 6 years old.
And a group of Spaniards, Afro-Latinos, indigenous people, and mestizos traveled to California and founded the city of Los Angeles, which has the country's largest Latinx population. And the formation of the League of United Latin American Citizens in 1929, the United Farm Workers of America in 1965, Mendez v. Westminster in 1945, the East Los Angeles walkouts in 1968, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund in 1968, the Southwest Voter Registration Education Project in 1974, and the El Congreso del Pueblo de Habla Española in 1938 are all events amongst many others in U.S. history where Hispanics played central role.
Each year, Americans observe National Latinx Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America.
Now therefore be it resolved that the governing board of the Milpitas Unified School District join other communities and other school districts in our nation in celebrating September 15th to October 15th, the National Latinx Heritage Month.
And as you see, there were so many Cal Hill students involved in that resolution. I thought that was really an amazing sight to have so many students participate in one resolution.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you for pulling those students together for that and having that opportunity. And as I observed them, I realized that maybe the first time that they've ever been involved in something like that, and to be able to read the history in a part of the process was very, very important. Are there any other comments from any other board members? Okay. Item 2, adopt resolution 22.8 honoring. Yes. Is there a motion to adopt resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Kelly Upchuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lian.
Yes.
Board Member Michael Sai.
Yes.
Board Member Mignot.
Yes.
Motion carries. Adopt resolution 2022.8 honoring first responders and recognizing September 11th as Patriot Day, a national day of service and remembrance.
Yes, we went over to our Naval Junior Reserves Officer Training Corps, NJROTC at Milpitas High School. They do the pledge here at the board meetings. They're very active in the community. They also participated in the community September 11th remembrance over at City Hall. And in doing that, I've also spoke with Lieutenant Jackson at Milpitas High School, and she was able to get some of her student cadets to put together this really special resolution 2022.8 honoring first responders and recognizing September 11th as Patriot Day, a national day of service and remembrance.
This is the Milpitas Unified School District Resolution 2022.8, honoring first responders and recognizing September 11th as Patriot Day, a national day of service and remembrance.
Whereas on September 11, 2001, our nation was changed forever by the terrorist attack that killed 2,977 people and injured more than 6,000 others. Whereas in response to the attacks in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, firefighters, uniformed officers, emergency medical technicians, physicians, nurses, military personnel, and other first responders immediately rose to action to save others. Unfortunately, 400 of their lives were lost that day.
Whereas, in the immediate aftermath of the attacks, thousands of recovery workers, including trades personnel, iron workers, equipment operators, and many others, joined with uniformed officers and military personnel to help search for and recover victims lost in the attacks. Whereas in the days, weeks, and months following the attack, thousands of people in the United States and others spontaneously volunteered to help support the rescue and recovery efforts, braving both physical and emotional hardship.
Whereas many first responders, rescue and recovery workers, volunteers, and survivors of the attacks continue to suffer from serious medical illnesses and emotional distress related to the physical and mental trauma of the tragedy. Whereas in 2009, Congress passed and President Barack Obama signed the Bipartisan Serve American Act, which established at the request of the 9/11 community federal recognition of September 11th as a National Day of Service and Remembrance. And
now, therefore, be it resolved that the governing body of Milpitas Unified School District, on the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, join millions in other communities and school districts in 1. Commending and honoring the selfless dedication to fellow citizens displayed through the heroic actions of the first responders and other individuals in New York, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and 2. Recognizing September 11th as Patriot Day, a national day of service and remembrance with appropriate and personal expressions of service and reflections, which can include performing good deeds, displaying the United States flag, attending memorial and remembrance services, and engaging in community service or other charitable activities in honor of the people who lost their lives or were injured in the attacks of September 11, 2001, and in tribute to the people who rose to service to come to the aid of the people in need and in defense of the United States.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call board vote for President Chris Norwood. Yes. For Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
For Clerk Leanne.
Yes.
Board Member Sai.
Yes.
Board Member No.
Yes.
Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. 17B, Business Services. Adopt Resolution 22.9, GAN Appropriations Limit Calculations Summaries, Assistant Superintendent Business Services.
Well, good evening again. And this is also part of our year-end closing document. Every year we will need to adopt a resolution and to establish a GAN appropriation limit because we're a government agency. Okay. Do I need to repeat that?
Yes.
Okay. So this resolution is a part of our year-end closing document, and it's every year after we close out book, we will need to adopt a resolution to establish current year appropriation limit as well as limit for the projection year. Let me open this resolution. This resolution provides a history of limit. It was established back in 1979 November and as a part of the Proposition 4. And the purpose of this GAN limit is to establish the maximum appropriation limit for the government public agencies. That's what we're doing here. And this is the form, it's a standardized form from the state. Let me move this over. And we calculate, this is the 2021, the year we closed, and this is the current year, 21-22. Normally, you will need to see is here, if there are any other adjustment to our limit. So for the year of 2021, there are no other adjustments. So we're within our limit. So tonight we're asked the board to adopt this resolution to accept our GAN limit calculation.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Wendy Chang. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
No,
We have to
motion.
open a hearing.
We have to conduct a public hearing.
Okay, motion to open the hearing.
There's a motion to open the public hearing on the GAN appropriations limit calculation summary. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote. President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lian. Board Member Michael Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member Minot.
Yes.
The public hearing is now open. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
We have a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion, there is a second. Any additional discussion? Any comments from the public?
No comments at this time.
We have a motion and a second. It's a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lian. Board Member Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member No.
Yes.
Public hearing is now closed. Item 2, adopt resolution 22.9 to establish the GAN limit for the 2021 fiscal year and project GAN limit for the 2021-22 fiscal year. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the resolution.
There is a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion? Are there any comments from the public?
No public comments at this time.
This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Lian.
Yes.
Board Member Tsai.
Yes.
Is there a delay? Okay. Board Member No.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
Motion carries.
kind of a delay. What delay are you referring to, Chris?
Echo. Item 2, accept the 2021 unaudited actuals, Assistant Superintendent Business Services.
Yes, this is the big item for tonight, actually. This is our financial record for the year of 2020 and 2021 unaudited actual. In this board agenda, we attached 4 items here. The first one is the multi-year projection worksheet. Let me make a little bit bigger so you can see it.
Thank you.
Is this better? Okay. So this is the standard multi-year projection summary sheet that normally I share with the board. And in this document, we updated this column, the unaudited actual 2021. with the actual financial information. We have not made any changes in the year of 21, 22 and beyond. In the next couple months, we're going to focus working on the current year budget update, because this year is kind of unique. We have included all the major changes during our budget adoption back in June. And we have now, there are a lot, some new updates constantly released by the state, and we have to make some calculations, and we're constantly receiving updated information for different programs. So we're going to provide a major budget update as our first interim in December. And then we also attached a summary worksheet here. It's called a one-time grant. As you recall, this past year was the first year we received quite a bit of support from the federal and the state. So this is a summary, all the federal and the state one-time grants related to COVID. Here is the name of each grant, and this is the allocation to the district. The actual expenditures is listed here. And also, even though those are the allocations to us, but we have not received the cash yet. For example, this ELO grant, Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant, our allocation was 6.1 million, and we only received about 651,000 in last year. So that's how much we spent. And we have a balance carried over to this year. And hopefully we'll receive the cash. But this grant will last till June 30th, 2024. So we have a couple years to spend if we would like. And here are the balance. We have a total about 9.3 million balance will carry forward to this year and beyond. Then the third document that we attached here is our income statement. This income statement provides a summary of the revenue and expenditures of each fund. And the front page here is general fund. The total ending fund balance after we close the book for general fund, both unrestricted and restricted, is about 11.8 million. This was better, or I can say this was normally, this should be higher than what we estimate in April, because in April, when we do estimate actual projection, we do not project any program carryovers, which is the 3 million here. We have a $3 million program carryovers from last year from school side that we can spend in this year. And also in this unrestricted side, we have 8.7 million ending fund balance. Within here, we have about 4 million is also our 3% of reserve that we need. We captured a summary here. I think this is probably a better way to present. We did an analysis. This is now estimate actual when we did back then in April. And this is now our unaudited actuals after we close out the book. We started with our beginning fund balance the same. And the total revenue changes is here. Most of this is from the one-time grant. And then here are the expenditure changes. And the most of you, so we have about 4.3 million in decrease in expenditure. That's because we have a carryover. So the ending fund balance, the 11.8 million after we close book, compared to the estimate actual back in April, the increase was 7.2 million here. And from the 7.2 million, you can see the majority of changes is from these carryovers and the reserves. Those are the carryovers from programs that we will bring them into the budget when we do next budget update. So the bottom line change is this 1,092,000. So this is a gain for our general fund to help in our operations that we can use this year. This is unrestricted. We call them operational carryover. And that is what reflected in this general fund ending fund balance here. And this income statement, trying to see how do I get to the, okay, the second page here. And this year is also the first year we added a special revenue fund. It's called Fund 088. This is to reflect the new accounting standard. This is the first year the district is required to record the student body transactions. So we will need to record the revenue and expenditures and to bring their financial activities in our book. And so from now on, you will see this new fund is added. And then we listed each program, like for example, start with adult education. And you can see their ending fund balance now is very healthy. We have about 2.2 million ending fund balance ended. And then the next program here is Child Development Center. If you recall, this program, we used to have a negative or general fund will need to help them. So this is the first year that it has a positive balance of 233,000, which is really good for the program. And so on and so forth. Our student nutrition fund 130, that's our school lunch program. We also have a very healthy ending fund balance at 859,000. And our deferred maintenance, and this is now reserved. We're at 16.4 million. And the post-retirement benefit fund, and there's normally the activity in this one is just the interest earning. And the fund balance is about 1.7 million. And the next one is our building fund. Our building fund has been doing really well. And the fund balance now is close almost to, is 19.9 million, very close to 20 million. Next to it is our bond fund. We track our bond project separately. And our bond right now with this first issuance of 75 million, we spent most of them. And now we only have about $19 million cash left. And that's why we have to issue 150 million just to continue the program. And the last fund reported here is our developer fee fund that I shared earlier with you. So this is overall our income statement of all programs. I'm going to stop here for questions, if there are any.
So Wendy, thank you for the work there. I know that from the ending balance, we look healthy on your multi-year projection. You do show what we term a deficit spending. However, that's incorporated with the inclusion of the ending balance, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, but we will need to do another budget update in December. We're going to work to look at a lot more details.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy.
Okay.
Will that be a board study session or?
No, it will be our first interim budget update in December.
Thank you for your report, Wendy, and keep up your good work and stewardship.
Okay, thank you. So then we're asking the board to accept our 2021 audit action tonight.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any additional discussion? Are there any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public at this time.
No comments from the public at this time. It's a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lien, Board Member Michael Tsai,
Yes.
Board Member Min No.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3, adopt 17.3, adopt Resolution 2022.6 to reopen County Schools Facilities Fund 350, Assistant Superintendent Business Services.
Yes, with the receipt of 16.5 million from the state matching fund for Meadows project, we are required to deposit that money in Fund 350. We used to have this fund open long time ago, and then we closed it because there were no activities. But now with this money, we will need to reopen it so we can record transactions in this fund.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to
Reopen.
reopen the facility fund.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public at this time.
There are no comments from the public at this time. This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Kelly Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lien.
Yes.
Board Member Michael Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member Min No.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership. Consent items. Consent items are considered routine and will be acted upon by the board in one motion. There is no discussion on these items prior to the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request that a specific item be tabled or removed for discussion or correction. Are there any items to be tabled, pulled, tabled, or removed for discussion or correction?
None for me.
Is there a motion to adopt the consent items?
Move to adopt the consent items.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Any comments from the public?
There are no comments from the public at this time.
This is a roll call vote. Board President Chris Norwood, yes. Board Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes.
Board Clerk Han Lien.
Yes.
Board Member Michael Tsai.
Yes.
Board Member Min No.
Yes.
Motion carries. The consent items have been approved. Dates of future board meetings. September 28th, tentative study session at 5 p.m. Tentative closed session, 6 p.m. Open session, 7 p.m. October 12th, tentative study session, 5 p.m. Tentative closed session, 6 p.m. Open session, 7 p.m. Additional announcements and reminders.
I don't have any announcements, but I'd like to say a few words. One of our beloved community members passed away last night. She was a kind, loving, and very generous woman. He was always there to lend a hand when called upon. I'd like to close this meeting in memory of Perla San Vicente. May she rest in peace. Thank you.